everything that you consume, be content or food, every video you watch, every opinions that you heard, it's actually shaping how you think. The problem is how we filter things out. The things around us consume us already, especially entertainment. One good example is the social media, right? You got entertained by the reels that you saw and then past 1 to 2 hours ka na pala nag-scroll. Diba? Sabi mo, you're just gonna check the weather for today. Ending, you were able to waste those precious time watching unnecessary things na hindi related sa weather. Sabi sa Bible, everything is permissible but not everything is beneficial. Awareness is the key. You need to be aware of what's going on around you and also be aware of what's happening to you. What are you trying to absorb? What are you trying, to focus your attention to? I believe everyone would agree that consumption feels like a comfort zone, right? Than you creating it, right? Because once you create things, there will be different perspective to it, and you will hear a lot of opinions to it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube podcast channel, Jam with Jams. I really want to ask this question, and of course, you can answer it either by to yourself lang, or if you want to comment, that's totally fine. But if not, I'll leave that alone to you. So one of the question that I really want to ask in this YouTube podcast is that in this episode, I want to ask you is that what are the things that you consume today? Just for today. And answer it. You can write it down in a piece of paper. May it be food or things that you consume today. Consume meaning you don't just take it using your mouth, but your thoughts. What are the things that you consume today, right? And we will be revolving the conversation around it because we all know that a lot of things around us are happening. There's a lot of noise, a lot of consumption that you can see. Kasi the moment that we wake up, magising tayo sa umaga, diba? The moment mulat mo yung mata mo, either you consume your phone immediately. I mean, the content you already saw, the reels, the news, the opinions, the comments, the worries, and all of those things already, right? And before we even start our day, there's a lot of things going on already, meaning our brain is already consumed with those things that we see right away, that we saw right away, right? May it be messages, videos, entertainment, what else, right? So just pause for a moment and think of those things you consume, because some of the things that you consume them unintentionally, right? Because let's say for example, yung mga, only rice, only subscription, a lot of good offers out there, and parang the moment we put our attention to that, we got focus on it, we really have that tendency na, eto na, na-consume ka na nitong palabas na to, na-consume ka na nitong pagkain na to. And one of the question that I really want to ask, aside from you consuming those things, what are the things naman that you were able to create? Were you able to create your own food for the day? Were you able to create the business idea that you really want to happen right away? Were you able to create more meaningful than what you consume, right? And one of the question or the truth that I really want to ask someone, or all of the people watching, all of especially moms watching right now, we are not just born to consume it. We should be creating meaningful things, because what happened right now is we have this tendency, just whatever is in front of us, we consume them right away, right? We tend not to create them anymore. So one good example that I can think of right now is in just a click, in just opening an app in just a click, you can order right away whatever it is that you want. Let's be real. Let's say, for example, a very good restaurant, fast or even just a fast food restaurant that you really want to eat, right? You can just order and just wait for, let's say, 30 to 45 minutes or maximum an hour or two, then you already have a food. Then you create, then versus you creating the food for yourself, because it takes a lot of effort as well and time from you. I understand that. But when you create it, it somehow give you more meaning, more sense, in a way that, oh, you know how to cook this, or oh, I wasn't able to get the ingredient this time, so hindi ganun kaganda yung lasa. You know what I mean? You were able to assess what's lacking. So, meaning you're creating something beautiful, right? Or sa mga girls, you create your own earrings. I know some people, they create their own earrings, and that's so nice. They don't need to buy stuff for themselves, right? It gives out the creativity. It builds them confidence at some point. We're not just versus on the consumption side, right? And I'm saying this because most of the time we haven't started our work, we haven't started our school. The things around us consume us already, especially entertainment. One good example is the social media, right? You got entertained by the reels that you saw, and then past 1 to 2 hours ka na pala nag-scroll. Diba? Sabi mo, you're just gonna check the weather for today. Ending, what happened was you were able to waste those precious time watching unnecessary things na hindi related sa weather. And somehow, sometimes, we are not seeing that it is harmful because people around us are also doing it. One good example that I can think of right now is last week, Chris and I, nag-commute kami ng jeep. You know what? Most of the people inside that jeep are glued to their phone. And I see that in the, yung young generation right now. What I mean by that is, instead of you just, I don't know, looking around, observing if there's criminal around, what's going on, what's causing the traffic or so, people are so like into their phone. If it's good thing if they're working, but of course, syempre sa jeep katabi mo, diba, you're able to see somehow what is it, an application of Instagram or Facebook. You can see it right then and there, but of course not the messages naman. So what I'm trying to say is, why not, if you're stuck in the traffic, why not try to choose to create more meaningful than consuming those reels, consuming those whatever it is. I'm not saying that those reels are bad. It's just that if we overdo it, 'di ba? Yun naman eh. Same thing with a medicine. If we overdo taking of paracetamol or whatever it is, it would cause damage in our livers, right? And consumption really is good at the moment, because the moment we consume, we feel better. Like, okay, I consume this sa isang buffet o sa isang unlimited nga, di ba? When we consume whatever it is that we are thinking or we want going to that buffet, then we're like happy consuming those things. But what happened kasi when we allot most of our time consuming on things, may it be the food intake or the thought intake, right? We have less creativity. We have less, we create less. Kasi we were focused more on what are the things that we can consume pa. Parang nandun na tayo, right? The moment we create something, it builds somehow our identity. I can build a journal pala. I can build my own book pala. I can build my own earrings pala. Diba? Those are the things na makes an impact or an eye-opener that you can know about yourself. So let me ask or say something that is really uncomfortable. Everything that you consume, may it be content or food, every video you watch, every opinions that you heard, it's actually shaping how you think. So in this digital age that we're in, accessible lahat eh. All the information are out. I think one of the problem that we have right now in this age, since again, in just a click of a hand or finger, we can really have the information right then and there. The problem is how we filter things out. Like sabi sa Bible, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Focus on the things that will help you create a better version of yourself, how to become a better in your relationship with your marriage, become a better wife, how to become a better person. Not those silly things, because entertainment feed us a lot of things like dramas for us to get away with the world that we really need to focus on. We should stop consuming those things. You need to pause. You need to ask yourself every single time, if you're consuming this reels or this videos or this food, does it benefit you? Does it, strengthen you? Does it give you wisdom, knowledge, gives you brilliant ideas or so? But if not, then pause a bit and then look to the next, right? Because let's say the more you consume comparison, gossip, bad news, over time you believe that those are the things that really exist. And over time your world will revolve around it. Just like a good example, all the more that you read book, even though if it's not a Bible, if you're just reading a book, all the more that your creativity, you gain more knowledge than seeing reels. I think that's a better alternative, reading books, going back to basics, right? And another thing is, the more you learn to know who God is, if you're just reading the Word of God, and if you're praying, all the more you would know Him, not just by a hear and say, not just by a quotation by the Facebook, Instagram, IG, or social media, right? And all the more that you create things, all the more that you will know who you really are and what are you capable of. Not just, oh, si ano yung nag-create nito eh. You're already consumed of those people again who create things, instead of you trying to put your feet out there, getting wet, getting to the deeper water, not just watching. That's why we should not just be really a observer. We should be observer at some point, but we should also be action taker, because planning and execution is two different things, right? If we continue to plan on exercising, watching reels on how to have abs, but we don't execute them, nothing will really happen. So what happens when we consume is, you really don't think about it. You just consume it right then and there. People, when food are served right in front of them, have you seen people, or someone na when food is served to them, they just eat everything there right then and there. But there are also people, what's served right in front of them, they analyze, saan ba to gawa, what's this made of, right? Is this even beneficial to their body? Is it a junk food? Is it fruit? Is it protein? A lot of things that you need to consider. People right now, I think a deeper question that I really want to ask to every one of us is, do you resonate with your consumption right now? Whoever it is that you're watching, whoever it is that you're looking into, because you will resonate to them, unless you will redirect yourself na, oh, I don't want to be stuck in this, but I want to be in this better path. I want to create something for my family, for myself, not just be an ordinary person, but because I believe everyone has a role to play. But think of a better way on how you will be better than yourself, by less consuming things and more of creating things. I believe one of the things that people try to avoid when creating things is that it's the hardship, the difficulty, the challenges that they would face. Because to be honest, when you try to create something, even it's just an idea, and you share it to people you love, or you share it with your circle, some of the people will say, ang pangit mo ng idea mo, or like, bakit yan? Pwede namang kumain ka na lang, or pwede namang ito na lang gawin. There's already rejection happening there, right? And mind you, it's just you sharing the ideas that you want to do. You haven't done it yet. All the more that the moment you do it, there will be people criticizing or not supporting you, giving you a side eye or whatsoever. That's why I believe that's where people are coming from, that people might be thinking like, oh, I'm too old to have my own business. I'm too old to start a business. Or other people naman, oh, I'm too young to start a business. I'm still in my 18, 20 to build a business. Where do we put ourselves now? When will you start? That's the question. When will you start doing it? Is it because the society told you that you're too young? Because the society told you that you're too old? There will always be excuses. There will always be challenges. There will be always people who will not believe on the things that you will create. But mind you, you need to believe yourself and you need to surround yourself with people who believe in the creation that you are about to do. And if you believe that the creation or the thing that you're about to create is for the good of most of the people, then push it, right? Influence, use your voice to influence people to stand up for themselves and to believe that they could create meaningful, impactful, purposeful things in life, right? Because consuming doesn't really require a lot of things. You consume, you just eat, you scroll, you just use your finger. But most of the time, creativity, creation has a lot of things to consider. That's why I believe most of the people are afraid to step up, to take that step, to create something, because at the back of their mind, they're already thinking a lot of negative things like, will my friends support me? What will my mom, what will my dad, what will my friends think when I create this, right? Some are afraid of failure, rejections, but it all boils down you being courageous, believing to yourself. And there is a point that I believe everyone would agree that consumption feels like a comfort zone, right? Than you creating it, right? Because once you create things, there will be different perspective to it, and you will hear a lot of opinions to it. And people right now are tired not because they create or produce things. I believe most people are tired around the concept of they are consuming a lot of things. Do you ever feel that there are days that you feel tired but you haven't really accomplished a lot of things? I was able to assess that when I was like, oh, I was just browsing even though I'm already nakahiga sa bed. It did feel so tiring. It feels so weird, right? And because your brain is constantly seeing a lot of things, your brain's constantly processing those things instead of you executing the plans, trying to do things to make things better, right? So I mean, it's not about really deleting those application, or it's just really time management, or just limiting yourself, or having a limit to everything is really good, right? And ask yourself from time to time, what are the things that I was able to produce today? And also ask yourself an honest question, what's the percentage of the things that I consume today? Is it 80% I just consume everything, or 80% I was able to create something beautiful, right? Even those writing down small ideas, that's already you creating of what are the things that you want to do in the next 3 months, 5 years, 10 years, right? Sharing your knowledge is also one thing of creating. That's why I really try myself to put in this position, to use the platform, to use my voice to really empower everyone, that I believe each and every one of us has this creativity level. I believe everyone has critical thinking, creativity, skills that could build something greater and better. The thing there is we're so stuck with this box, like a cell phone or gadget or tablets that we're in right now. So I challenge every one of us who's watching this, try to think of one thing, even just for this week. What are the three things that you really want to create? Purposeful, meaningful, and not just pause and stop for a minute consuming a lot of things. Once you become aware that you consume a lot of things, that's the first thing. I say this a lot in my video. Awareness is the key. You need to be aware of what's going on around you, and also be aware of what's happening to you. What are you trying to absorb? What are you trying, to focus your attention to? So hopefully I'll leave you with this question. At the end of the week, this week, create something more meaningful and list it down. And yeah, if I made you reflect on something today, please comment down below. I choose to create so that I know that there are people who really want to create something beautiful for themselves, for their future, or for a better place to live in. So, Jam with Jams, I hope you had a great and productive, meaningful week, and I'll see you in the next one.